we got Impact Wrestling. Impact Wrestling, one of the hottest products out there. No doubt. They put on a hell of a show. They have some issues in the marketing department because they just announce matches here and there without building up properly to them, without actually promoting them on social media the way that they should be promoted so that there is any kind of awareness for the product. But overall, Impact Wrestling has been doing quite a great job in the entertainment value department. As a matter of fact, Sacrifice happened this past weekend as well. And while it wasn't as good as a show as No Surrender, and it didn't give us that much headlines, it gave us one major twist that, to be honest, I wasn't expecting, and I'm sure a lot of you weren't expecting. And that is that the Walking Weapon was back. He was back after announcing on Twitter, on social media, that he had to leave Impact Wrestling because his contract wasn't renewed. And because his contract wasn't renewed, his work visa was denied, and he had to go back to Canada. Hell, Josh Alexander even posted a picture of him in some kind of labor uniform going back to work. And every single fan out there that saw that post shed a tear and responded that that was not his place. And that didn't backfire on WWE. On Impact Wrestling, No, because this past Saturday, this past weekend, at Sacrifice, Josh Alexander made his return to Impact Wrestling. And not only that, he announced he had signed a multi-year contract with Impact Wrestling. He was here to stay. Fantastic. Not only that, Josh Alexander made his return by laying out the current Impact World Champion, Moose. The same man that laid him out in the main event of the biggest pay-per-view event of the year. In the main event of the biggest moment of Josh Alexander's career up to that point. Josh Alexander was celebrating with his family. He was the brand new Impact World Champion, the brand new face of the company, and Moose attacked him, called his shot, pinned him 1, 2, 3 in the middle of the ring with his family watching in that very corner. Yes, his family was still in the squared circle. So there are a lot of storylines to insert into this feud. There's a lot of story to draw from between these two men. So all I can say is, Josh Alexander, I couldn't be happier that you're back at Impact Wrestling. I couldn't be happier to know that you are going to be the man to challenge Moose for the Impact World Championship at Rebellion in Poughkeepsie, New York. Poughkeepsie, New York. That is the money match that Impact Wrestling wants and needs, and they're getting it now because it is the right call. Because ever since Scott D'Amore took over Impact Wrestling, they have been on fire in the ring and management-wise. And even though fans have trouble finding them on Access TV, and even though fans still want to throw shade at the company formerly known as Total Nonstop Action, there's no denying that if you watch an Impact Wrestling show, whichever show that may be currently, you're going to get a great night of professional wrestling. And to borrow from a former Impact World Champion, that's not an insult. That is just a fact of life. So Josh Alexander versus Moose at Rebellion at the tail end of April. Exciting as hell. Perfect move. Perfect play from Scott D'Amore and Impact Wrestling. So all I have to ask right now is, were you fooled by Josh Alexander leaving the company and then returning and thinking that Josh Alexander was gone forever, just like I did at one point? And I can admit it, and you can watch the rest. You can watch my statement on that exact moment when Josh Alexander was released. Or do you think they could have gone a different way for their big pay-per-view event, and Josh Alexander should have just tried his luck at AEW or at WWE? Leave your thoughts, comments, and predictions in the comment section below.